Okay, I think we can get started here. It looks like we're starting to have people come into the chat and into the room. So yeah, it's nice to have these sessions. This is the third one we've done in the last couple days, and we really appreciate the walkers coming and kind of letting us know what's going on with the product development and where the company's been and where it's going. So yeah, we're gonna throw it to Ryan this morning, and he's gonna have a chat with us. Everyone, feel free to hop in if you have questions or we're on a topic that you have some interest in. So yeah, I'll throw it to you, Ryan.
Excellent. Thanks, Owen. Well, good morning, everyone. It's always a privilege to spend time together discussing life and manufacturing businesses and lawn care and the Walker Mower. So it's an honor for me, it's an honor for me, for you to take time away to come be a part of this. Hey, so just to start off, my name is Ryan Walker. I'm the president of Walker Manufacturing Company. I've been president for the past year, just over a year, and I'm third generation in the Walker family ownership line. Just a few things about me. I think as we come together, it's important to know who I am, and we can connect, I think, better based on that. I have a degree in business and finance. I went to Olivet Nazarene University in Illinois. I followed my older brother, Ted, who spoke yesterday. He went to Olivet to do mechanical engineering. They're an ABET accredited engineering institution, and he also played football at Olivet. And I followed him there to play football with him again and pursued business and finance. Both Ted and I played for 4 years, as did my two younger brothers. So yeah, it's a great institution and something that was very valuable in my life. After I graduated from Olivet, I actually went to a school in Michigan and got my airframe and power plant mechanics license, pursuing an opportunity to serve with a Christian ministry who uses airplanes for evangelism and logistics. And so my wife and I moved to Western Alaska. We lived in an Eskimo village in Western Alaska for 3 years. There's about 900 people in a village called Chivak. And we served there with Sind International. I flew airplanes. We taught school. My wife's a school teacher. And we had a wonderful 3 years together and doing that work. So 2011 came back to the business. I've been with Walker about 10 years. And we worked well together. My uncle, Bob, is the chairman of our business. My dad is technically vice chairman, but operates more of like a CEO type of role. We still report to my dad. And then my brother and I, I'm president, Ted's vice president. And the four of us need to know something about the Walkers. The four of us, we spend five days together here at the factory working together. And then Saturdays, we generally recreate together. We all fly airplanes. And so we spend Saturdays, at least in the morning, together, generally finding some place to go adventure in airplanes. And then Sunday, we all worship together at the same church. And so we're very close, and it's something that we cherish. We're a very unified group and a group of men. And we just really enjoy working and dealing with challenges and opportunities together. Beyond the four Walkers, we have 9 managers in our business. Those 9 managers govern, lead the organization, and so we're very I guess horizontally oriented company. We don't have a lot of levels and tiers in our business, and so we're a very involved and active group of managers, and we have relationships with pretty much everyone in this place. So really value the people we work with, value the relationships we get to have with the people internally and then externally. So our factory today is we're healthy, both physically, financially, organizationally. We're doing well. Obviously the past 9 months for everyone has been a challenge, and it's been no different at Walker. Yet I do think that we've had about as low of drama as you could ask for in a group of people all working together with all kinds of different persuasions and worldviews and backgrounds, we've come together and really had a great 2020. And it's something that, we're not slamming the door on saying, the last year was something that we want to forget or move past. I think we've learned a lot. I think we've grown and made a lot of progress in the past 12 months and 9 months specifically. So we're counting our blessings, and it's work with some of the best people we could ever ask for at our, executive manager level, all the way down to, the people who are walking through the door right now as the organization grows. So Walker Manufacturing Company is a family-held third-generation business, and there is a very small ownership group, and that's on purpose. Bob and Dean have been very disciplined in pursuing a vision and a future for Walker Manufacturing Company that is sustainable. And so today we continue to have a view of ownership that if you own the business, you have to be active in operating and leading the business. And so that brings the ownership group down to a very, very small group of people. And that's something that we will continue to pursue. It works well for us. It doesn't work maybe for everyone. We're not saying it's the only way or the right way, but for us, it's the way that we think we can continue to be a generational family-held business that honors people, honors commitments, and can continue to innovate and compete at a high level. So a little bit of overview of who we are. I want to talk about briefly where we came from. In 1957, my grandfather was a farmer in Southwest Kansas, my grandparents, and they raised cattle and did some dryland farming. And my grandparents had a desire to seek opportunity aside or beyond farming, and realized that the family farm wasn't going to sustain a growing family tree. And so my grandfather was very interested in machinery. In 1957, he developed and started selling a gas-powered golf car. And that project, he built about 1,000 golf cars over the next, from 57 to 63, that's 6 years. Struggled with a cyclical business, much like we're in a cyclical business again today with selling lawnmowers. That we have a selling season, and then we have a season that is fairly dormant from a sales standpoint. And so very much like the golf car, he was struggling with financial equity and capital, and didn't have a banking relationship that allowed him to weather those dry seasons of sales. And so he developed a 4-season product called the Power Truck. And in 1962, with a little bit of overlap with the golf car, he started developing this truckster. It was competing against the Cushmans of the day, would compete against the John Deere Gators and Polaris Rangers of today. So the Power Truck was developed and started production in 1962. That project was sold, and because of some of the same issues, the financial issues, and the business was actually moved to Casper, Wyoming, which my grandparents followed. So they moved from Southwest Kansas to Casper, Wyoming, relocating both Dean and Nina, the 2 youngest of the 4 siblings. So my dad and his parents and his younger sister Nina moved to Casper, Wyoming. And I'm in Casper. The business ended up failing due to a number of mismanagement, and specifically just this idea that you can harvest earnings from a company and never, as people expecting to get a return for their equity involvement in a business. And due to that, the company ran out of money. I ended up going bankrupt. And my grandparents, although they were not in ownership, lost everything. They lost their home. The business was literally locked by the bank. And so through that process, they learned a lot, and they learned a lot about what independence means and what conservative business operation means, and also what honoring commitment means. My grandparents felt like they were breaking commitment through that process, that they did not have control, and they didn't have the wherewithal to follow through on the things that they had said or they had committed to do. And so that still shapes who we are. That story of selling, bankruptcy, those challenges is something that we reminisce on. I wasn't alive at the point, but it's something that shapes who we are. Out of that came opportunity, and my dad dropped out of college for a semester, came back, helped my grandfather, Max, develop an evaporative tractor cab cooler, which led to manufacturing again, and a contract to manufacture the evaporative cooler that they designed for a third party. So anyway, I got back into manufacturing in 1975. Both Dean and Bob moved back to the business. making coolers. In 1977, 78, and 79, they made their first 3 Walker mowers, first 3 prototypes. In 1979, they showed that Walker mower at the 3i show in Kansas, ag-oriented show. And then from there, started building batches in 1980. And by 1983, the year I was born, they lost the contract to build the Biko evaporative cooler with Biko. So in 1983, became dependent on the Walker mower. And so the past 37 years have been completely focused on the Walker mower, developing that product, and pursuing both supply chain relationships, distributor relationships, dealer relationships, and customer relationships to perpetuate that opportunity. Walker Manufacturing Company at its core is a business that is very principled. We are very missional, and one of our core missions is to multiply opportunities. So when you come to work here, if you're working in our supply chain, our distribution channel, or buying the Walker mower as an end user, our goal is that people who are associated with Walker Manufacturing Company realize multiplied opportunities because of that relationship, because of that association with Walker Manufacturing Company. We want people to succeed and to realize opportunities that they may not have realized if it weren't for this association or the influence of Walker Manufacturing Company. So as kind of taking a step back, who we are, where we've come from, who we are today, what our worldview is, a little about myself. And man, we can go all kinds of different directions. And I would like your input on that. Today, we're under a lot of pressure. We have a lot of demand on the business. All the things that we talk about regularly, the sales and production and demand on the business, those are all very positive. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend talking about that because I don't know how valuable it is to you. But we are working hard to continue to produce and provide high quality lawnmowers that live up to our standards, and our deepest desires that live up to yours as we continue to innovate and also produce those innovative, valuable products, valuable Walker mowers for you. So if there's I can keep going. I'll talk, I can talk about this place. But I would really like to know where you want me to go as it relates to the business, talking about the updates that are the most interesting to you. So if anyone has a question for me or would suggest a topic, I'd love to cover that.
I'll hop in quickly just while I'll start scrolling through the chat and starts looking for any hands. But obviously this last year was a crazy year for you guys, for us. What was maybe the biggest challenge that you guys came up against through the year, and how were you able to handle that, or where did it kind of send you guys?
Yeah. I think we try to be a very dependable, consistent organization. And there were so many outside influences kind of challenging that, disrupting that we were burdened by the lack of consistency that we were providing. And that's, obviously some of that was out of our control, but we really try to be a company that deals with the things that we can control. And so we were emphatically looking for those opportunities to continue to provide consistency. And so we lost 4 weeks of production. We shut down for 3 at the beginning, and then we had an outbreak here in November that we made a voluntary preemptive decision to shut down for 5 days. So we could get 2 weekends and a 5-day production break to let this place calm down, let our people start, get whoever's going to get it, and then start healing. So anyway, 4 weeks, the unplanned 4 weeks of lost production. And that was something that, those aren't easy decisions, but maybe those aren't the hardest ones. The hardest ones are the kind of the nuanced decisions that we were trying to make to really provide, even how we compensate those 4 weeks. Like we, in the good times, we win together. In the bad times, you can say we all lose together. But we kind of take a different approach on that. In the bad times, we really think it's the right thing to do to step up and help people lose as least as possible or win as much as they can, even in those times. So we were trying to find that balance for sure. And then just trying to help people as they, the different things were happening. It was like, every week we were learning about something. Every day, sometimes, different periods, we were learning about different regulations, different happenings around the pandemic. And so people were definitely peaking at different times, emotionally getting stressed and kind of reaching that tipping point, that breaking point. So trying to be really understanding through that whole process and trying to figure out how to help people as they were. And it's like, I think we've all experienced that in our families and our immediate groups, trying to figure out how to walk beside people, even though we're supposed to do that from a 6-foot distance.
Yeah, I think even us meeting like this, it would be great in a normal year to be at the show and get to hear your experiences from the last year in person. But we're all adapting and trying to do our best in all our situations.
We shut down the factory for 3 weeks. It gave us a lot of time to think and to try to figure out what's next. How do we go serve well, at least in these days? We kind of come up with 2 primary focuses that actually going back to my grandparents. I have a picture. I'll grab it real quick. Actually, I have a picture of my grandparents. I have a picture of my grandparents. This is that show in 1979. It might be a show from 1980. We're not sure, but this is my grandparents, and they have, you can see a collection machine and then a machine converted over to a side discharge, and their blazer in the background. And around the back of the blazer, you can see an old flatbed trailer that they could haul 2 lawnmowers on. And just the 2 of them, right? That is like, so during that coronavirus shutdown, looking at that picture, what's the most important things? And that picture sits on my desk because I think it's really symbolic. Number one, they had an innovative machine. So I think the first thing that we can learn from that picture, and my grandparents just in general, is we need to innovate. And we need to innovate around product design. That's very important. That's actually probably, just from a value to the customer standpoint, that's probably the most important thing, that we continue to innovate, provide products that are more valuable tomorrow than they are today. That focus. So innovation, that's something that we really landed on as a core focus for us, refocusing on that. The other thing that that picture represents is the pursuit of customer. We've talked a lot. Tim Cromley is on the call. He's probably so tired of me saying, pursue the customer, pursue the customer. But if we innovate, if we continue to innovate, and if we can continue to pursue the customer, if we take a posture of pursuit, I think that shapes who we are as a business. It shapes how we really seek you all, our customers. Instead of taking a selfish posture that says, well, if you want us, you come to us, you come to Walker. We don't want to be that business. We don't want to have that culture. In fact, we want that to be exactly opposite, where we are pursuing you, serving you in whatever way that is, with an awesome product, but more importantly, with a brand experience and service and support that makes you successful, helps you be successful. So that picture is super special. Sits on my desk. It's a conversation starts, a reminder to me about the hard work that my grandparents did, first and foremost, that they were willing to take this risk, to leave the farm, to go seek opportunity, to go through the struggle, to, experience a bankruptcy, to bring Walker Manufacturing Company to where it is today. So innovation, pursuit of customer, 2 primary pillars that we are focused on building this place upon. And it's something that Dean and Bob, the second generation, have demonstrated over and over and over. And so that's that's really a couple lessons that we learned in late March, early April. So innovation produces a customer. Out of that, we have developed a formal campaign. Walker Manufacturing Company has been a 6,000 unit manufacturer for the past 20 years. In the year 2000, we built 6,000. We built and sold 6,000 Walker mowers here at the factory. In 2019, we built and sold 6,000 Walker mowers. First and foremost, I'm not ungrateful for where we are today. That's not my point. But as a generational family business, I'm third generation. My brother and I, we've been kind of in this seat with Tidal for a year, learning over the past 10 years what really this place is all about. What are we trying to achieve? What's our mission? How does that shape our vision and principles? And maybe it's how does our principles shape our mission and vision? Anyway, so out of this vision, out of this desire to innovate, to pursue customer, we've started a formal campaign to grow this business from 6,000 units of influence, call it each Walker mower a unit of influence, grow this business from 6,000 to 10,000. And so we're pursuing that. How do we do that? Well, it's a fairly broad campaign as far as the solutions that we're putting in place, the strategies we're putting in place to go achieve something we've never achieved. The most lawnmowers we've ever sold was in 2007. It was when the Model B was initially introduced. And that year we built and sold about 7,500 machines here at the factory. So we've been a 6,000 unit manufacturer for the past 20 years, although at times we've been above that. So what is, we call it the road to 10,000. And maybe the first question you have to ask is why? The easiest, most simple response to that is, for me, Bob and Dean have had a vision and a goal of building and selling 10,000 Walker mowers. And quite frankly, that's enough for me. If they've had a vision to go do that, to go achieve that, then me as a successor to those gentlemen, I think it's right for my generation to go seek after those goals set by the previous generation. Secondarily to that, Bob and Dean are still working 45 to 50 hours a week in this place, and they don't intend to stop. So I really want them to be a part of this journey of growth. And who better to set the guardrails for me in this journey than Dean and Bob, who have been the keepers of the culture, who have built the culture, started by my grandparents, who have developed this idea that Walker Manufacturing Company can be special. We can be different. We can be different for the right reasons. We can pursue something that it is wholesome and right. And so now we're making pretty significant changes in our distribution, not people, but practice and strategy and expectation. And so these changes are leading to something that we've never achieved. And again, the results are yet to be seen, but if we can focus on the right changes, if we can really invest in and work, we've just said the grass isn't greener on the other side from a product standpoint or pricing or people. We think we have a lot of the pieces to go get this work done. There's going to be changes. The product has to change. There's going to be changes across the board to go achieve this. Yet we're really focused on what are the right changes. I think you've probably experienced through coronavirus some really contradictory changes that it's like change just to change. It drives me crazy. Let's change what needs to be changed and let's build what's already working. Let's develop what's already working and then make the changes that we need to. So we're really in a process of evaluating what things need to change. Where can we really go and invest and make progress? And so this goes all the way to our supply chain, our internal processes, our internal capacities, our distributors. We have 47 distributors around the world. They are key in this campaign, in this road to 10,000, because we really believe that when people get involved with the Walker Mower and Walker Manufacturing Company, there's opportunity there, and the experience and ultimately we want to be in relationship with more people, and that's something that this road to 10,000 represents for us. So instead of 6,000 units of influence, which that's awesome for us. We still want to grow that to 10,000 units of influence, because we want people. We want to be in more people's lives. And so, yeah, and I think something that hopefully you're experiencing and seeing is something core in that is pursuit of customer. How do we pursue more people and really give them the Walker mower, the Walker brand, and help them become part of what this place is? I think that starts with advertising. I think it maybe ends with service. And so that whole spectrum of from the time you first learn about what the Walker brand is, maybe even before the mower itself, but what's the Walker brand? All the way down to how we serve you, our customers, in the service shop. Bruce Tallman, our technical services manager, we are developing curriculum. We held one training before in November before this whole thing melted down, kind of the second time. But we're going to train technicians to a higher level. So when you take a lawnmower into a Walker dealer, it comes out right. Not guaranteed, of course. We're going to make mistakes, but we're going to do everything we can to build the quality in the factory, but then the quality in the experience. So brand recognition, brand experience, marketing, pursuit of customer is core in this. And then product development is obviously something that we're going to continue to do. If you were on with Ted yesterday, they're so busy and focused on some awesome products that I was on the road yesterday actually, but I hope that he was able to communicate, and I'm sure he did. He's fairly humble in his approach, and which is amazing. But he is one of the most curious people I know. He will ask the second or third question that really clarifies the situation. So Ted is such an inspiration to me when it comes to patience and curiosity. But he has a mind on him that is hard to match. So they're doing awesome work. The Model R is something that is really pursuit of customer for us. It's an opportunity for Walker Manufacturing Company to get more people growing up on front mount articulated decks with our steering system, forward speed control, like the ergonomics, the precision handling, steering and handling of the Walker mower is something that we need more people experiencing earlier instead of growing up with mid-mount style balanced square chassis machines, whether stand on or mid-mount. The square chassis machine is just compromised, and no machine's perfect. Every machine is a compromise. I want that to be clear. Yet, when you can have a balanced machine like the Walker mower and a machine with the steering system like the Walker mower, if people can experience that and set that expectation, it's hard to go backwards then to a lever style square chassis machine that's imbalanced, that's not as precise from a cutting standpoint or a handling standpoint. So the Model R is something that it's a brand move for us. And thankfully, we wouldn't have launched the Model R if it wasn't right, but it is the Walker experience. It has to be the Walker experience. We're going to undermine the whole brand itself. So it's a great foundation for that prosumer, high expectation homeowner, light commercial, although Tim doesn't want me to say that anymore, customer. I'm just kidding, Tim. That once deserves the Walker experience. So the Model R is, I probably had a little bit tougher year last year just with the distraction of COVID in March and April, but registration numbers in this cycle starting September 1st to now are very positive. And actually that machine right now is winning really, really big in Australia and New Zealand. They have, over the previous cycle, really the launch cycle for them a year ago, both Australia and New Zealand are up over double in registrations year to date. So we're continuing to expect wonderful things. The 54-inch deck for that machine is going to really help, especially in domestic Canadian markets where homeowners with discretionary income, with high expectation, a lot of times have larger properties and they want that mid 50-inch class machine. So, okay, Road to 10,000, something that we're working hard on. I think program-wide, our marketing budget is going to increase by 5x. And that's not really a scary number because before that, our marketing budget was unacceptably low. So that just to put some context in that, we are really going to pursue the customer and invest in that activity, where we're going to really introduce more people to what's happening with the Walker brand. So Model R, Model B platform is just super special. Both the B27i that's been on the market for a couple of years now, but now the new B23. I guess we're coming into the second release cycle of the B27i, second cutting season of the B27i, but the B23 is going to be a big deal. But just what a wonderful machine. I put a 60-inch blade on a B27i with, new suspension seat we're testing and some wheels. And I went and pushed snow in my neighborhood, and what an absolute animal. And the new implement hitch for the Model B is a really big win. So Model B platform, and then, just GHS machines. Model S is getting a lot of attention right now. It's going to get better in the next 6 months. Our next generation GHS machine is going to challenge the Model T. Is a sweet machine. It's fast, quiet, just a simple machine, but so durable, so user oriented. And we're really excited about those things that we're pursuing. And then, other kind of skunkworks things that are on the radar. But yeah, it's exciting times internally. How do you go from 6 to 10? We've hired almost 20% additional factory personnel in the past 3 months. 44, we're almost to 50% of our workforce is now millennials under the age of 35. That is balanced by 20% of our workforce that has been here more than 20 years. So you ask, how do you grow an organization? Well, you have an awesome culture that allows the mentorship of new people coming into the business by the experienced and really the culture holders of the company, of the factory itself. Interestingly enough, come walk through the factory sometime, and we invite you to come. We call them supervisors. They're area supervisors. So fabrication, machining, laser bend, welding, catcher box, plastic assembly, all the functional areas in the factory have supervisors. Generally, our supervisors, almost every one of them is in that millennial age group. So it's interesting that our leaders on the factory floor are young. They're 30 to 40-year-olds. Sometimes we have a 25-year-old that is just dominating right now. So from 25 to 40-year-old, that age range is the leadership on the shop floor. And they are managing these tenured employees that are 20, 25, 30-year employees. And so it's a really neat relational mix that we have in the shop right now. So young, aggressive, balanced with quality, consistent, emphatic pursuit of what the Walker-Moore is by kind of that old culture that we have in that shop. So this week we are finalizing a multi-million-dollar laser upgrade project. It's going to be one of 30 systems in the world that robotically picks laser parts out of a sheet after they are cut. It's a phenomenal program. We've been waiting for this system to become viable, and we were just in Chicago last week, and a couple months before that, in another shop in Nebraska that is running this system, and we're very excited for it. So that's going to happen over shutdown, and our factory shut down at end of July, early August. We're going to piggyback on that, but that's one example of, we're going to go from 3 CO2 lasers. We have 3 4,000 watt CO2 lasers. We're going to replace those 3 with 1 10,000 watt fiber optic laser that will have 4 times the capacity of one of our current lasers. So we're going to go from 3 to 4. We're not going to have redundancy yet. The system is designed to plug in another laser in 12 to 18 months. We plan on making that second laser purchase, putting it in the system, which will also get a second robotic sorter as well. So things like that. Today, our lasers are so busy that we have 2 full-time people picking parts out of sheets of cut lasers, cut sheets of laser, 5 by 10 foot sheets of steel. The laser cuts it. It goes over to a picking table, and 2 people continuously pick parts out of those sheets. All that is being replaced with a robot. So now those people who are picking are going to be more involved in programming, but as a net gain, we will see significant improvement. The automated sorting also allows us to now have located pallets. And so now we can put pallets into other automated systems like bending systems. Because they're already located on a pallet, that location is reported. Now those next robots can come in. Automation's tricky for us. We only build 10,000. Well, we only build 6,000 units per year. Fairly high mix of products. And so automation is not as easy of a justification as one might think. It's very complicated. Instead of actually working on things, now you just become a full-time robotics manager, which sometimes doesn't actually pay for itself because the depreciation cost of robots can be very expensive. Yet where it fits Walker Manufacturing Company, we are aggressively pursuing those solutions. And automation is getting cheaper and more flexible. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and we're pursuing that. So there's about 10 of those sorting systems in the United States. The rest are in Europe. It's a Swiss machine, and just an amazing solution. Wonderful people involved, the programming, the flexibility of this new laser system. It's just awesome. So it's going to help us. It's actually a smaller footprint than our current laser. So we're going to make progress on our factory floor organization as well. We're building a new office for our operations manager, Steve Betros. He sits on the shop floor today. We need his office space for additional machining space. So it's getting torn down. We're going to put him up over a tooling office that we have today. So that's in process. That construction will be done in a couple of weeks. And then we are planning on adding onto the front of our current office with to create an engineering wing for Dean and Ted and their team. It'll have offices for both Dean and Ted, a conference room, and then a group office space for 10 engineers comfortably. We can expand that. But preparing for kind of what's next. And, just there, you guys know there's a lot of things that need to be done in our industry and in the Walker mower. So we're working on those things to stay competitive and relevant in the future as well. Okay. I really feel like I'm just, I need, what else? Where do you guys want me to go next? What questions has this content brought up?
Maybe just hop in quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'll let Scott hop in.
Okay.
Scott Faulkner has something to say.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
So just good. So just going to pursue more customers. So a lot of comments I read on the Facebook lawn care groups about stand-on mowers. Now I know you guys don't manufacture one, but a lot of guys I know love stand-ons, and I feel like that's a big market that you guys could capture if you had one. Why haven't you guys made one yet, or have you ever thought of making one? And I guess reasons for not trying to capture that market.
Yeah, really that stand-on market. It's a reconfiguration of a square chassis lawnmower, and square chassis lawnmowers for us are such a compromise from a performance, cut quality, handling standpoint, and and just from a Me Too standpoint, I don't know, and I just don't know that it's interesting that Wright just came out with a mid mount. Our solution to that market space is really the Model B and the Model H. They're a little bit longer on a trailer, but the owner operator who is our customer, the Walker mower, its posture, it's sitting down. We feel like whether you prefer to sit or stand maybe is secondary to our desire to provide a maintainable, high quality of cut machine that square chassis machines just cannot cannot get to. Um, Again, every machine's a compromise. There are advantages of a stand-on machine. Don't get me wrong. Um, but really, our pursuit is not to be a Me Too machine. Is not to be the least expensive, which is really that's the root of, you know, the mid mount square chassis machine, 2 tires in the back, 2 tires in the front. It's a necessity because of the price point of the machine at the dealership. That's really how we got to this point. It's the removal of material, of complexity of, and so you get to this thing that sells well on the dealer's floor, but performs poorly on property. And so that's something that we, the Walker Mower is designed for a very specific purpose, and to provide quality of cut and tilt up deck and articulating front and tractor, that interdependency between the deck and the tractor where it can flex. So you have consistent traction. We don't change the pressure on on the drive tires because it's a triangle, because it can articulate. So the machine's consistent, it's safe. We would struggle going away from what the Walker Mower is, even from a safety standpoint, to provide maybe a smaller footprint on a trailer. So really not where we're focused, Scott, as far as, it's interesting that you frame it in this idea that from a customer standpoint, if we're pursuing the customer, we should be giving the customer what they want. And if customers want to stand on, they should be able to get it from Walker. I get that. I follow what you're saying. For us, we would propose that the Model B is a better machine, is a better solution. Maybe with the one exception of trailer space. But even in that, I don't know. It's just every operator is unique, and there's a lot of nuance in that. But the Model B, I think, is a really viable machine, especially with the B27i and the B23 now.
Yeah, I see Scott Morrison's got his hand up, so I'll throw it to you, Scott.
In all honesty, Ryan, I don't even think that more units per trailer is a valid argument. The Walker footprint is still pretty small, and with deck up, and we haul both, obviously,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, we'll get more walkers on a trailer any day of the week.
Yeah. I think it's perception and trends, and that's that idea, Scott, that I was going to go into it, and Scott Faulkner, that, the Walker Mower is triangles. And so putting triangles on trailers is maybe almost more efficient. And to Scott Morrison's point, it's more efficient than putting squares on triangles, because unless you have the perfect width or length for the square, triangles fit together very efficiently in rectangles. There's so many, I feel like I'm talking in like gross generalities, but I guess just hang with me, contextualize this whole thing. There's something we don't want to sacrifice for price point solely. That Walker Mower, if we were to go to and we've talked a lot about how do we make an articulating deck mid mount or stand on machine. What does that provide? What does that accomplish? What does that give us that we don't have today? We look at a Model B and experience the Model B, and then get feedback from guys who are running Model Bs, and it's we just don't think that we gain a whole lot other than maybe fulfilling a perception. But pursuit of customer really does help clarify that, Scott. So your question, I hear it, and it'll make us think.
I think we've maybe touched on this a little bit, but I was just thinking maybe with maybe 2020, the theme has been challenge and difficulty, but going into 2021, we're still kind of on the tail end of the pandemic and maybe some of the difficulty, but what would you say is Walker optimistic about going into 2021 and after that?
Yeah. That's a great question. Bob Walker leads with optimism. And I think optimism maybe has a slight connotation of naivety, yet we don't view it that way. We're kind of optimistic realists. It's like this balance of understanding that a positive attitude can't necessarily, an optimistic attitude in itself isn't the solution. Yet, optimism is so important in making great decisions and being great leaders and attracting people to help you with that mission, Owen, to your point. So 2021, some of the things we're really optimistic about is just the growing organization, the quality and the number of people we're bringing into the organization today is phenomenal. Walker Manufacturing Company does not advertise for positions on the shop floor. We never have. We haven't needed to. People come to us. Isn't that amazing? We do not. We don't understand, but it's a great culture that Dean and Bob, my grandparents, have developed. People want to be here, and the Lord provides for us. He just does. That's us Christians, and we operate in a very faith-based worldview, and people show up when we need them, and they're showing up right now. And I was just in HR, and we're interviewing a welder that was recommended by another welder told this gentleman to come to Walker. He's interviewing today, extremely talented, a welder, has worked in the oil field, just super talented, certified, he can do certified welds, all that. And he came to us, he walked through our door. So Owen, that's something that we're very, very thankful for. We're very optimistic about. We don't use temp labor. When you come to work at Walker, you are a W-2 in the United States. That means that you are a full-time employee of benefits with health benefits and the social benefits of working full-time at a company. You have those when you come to work here. And in turn, we make a commitment to those people to give them a 12-month out of the year job, an opportunity here. So we're experiencing that right now. We're extremely thankful for it, and it breeds optimism in us. The factory, our projection right now is that we will produce over 40% more Walker mowers in 2021 than we did in 2020. And we're on track to get that done. Our registration's looking rearward. If you are running 12 months, so running 12-month period over the previous running 12-month period, we track 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. The 3 and 6 months are almost unbelievable, but 12-month over 12-month, we're up 40% in total machine registrations. Since September 1st, just new machine registrations are up close to 15%. Those things, I think, are the result of a lot of great decisions and a great culture and a great product. And then on top of that, we're going to go pursue the customer more emphatically than we've ever done, more aggressively. We're going to introduce more people to the Walker brand. And if you're already in the Walker brand, we're going to serve you better. That's our goal. More specifically in the product, the Eaton Model 7 and the Model T, the Model C, the Model T, and the Model D, the Eaton Model 7 is getting better. And you all will learn about a system that's coming that's going to make the Eaton Model 7 very, very special. But even before that system has really had any effect on what's happening, the Eaton Model 7 has been a little bit of a problematic transmission for us. Our warranties are almost half of what they were last year. So we're getting better parts from Eaton, which has been kind of the root issue. And as we look at that warranty, it's an opportunity to serve, but ultimately we don't want people to ever have an issue. So that's getting better. So just program growth, factory growth, people growth, but then product improvements, and some of the challenges maybe to counter that is just managing our supply chain. Optimistic that our supply chain will perform with us at the level that we need them to. But we're having to make changes and make some hard decisions in our supply chain right now to go get this done, and things that we've needed to do for a while. But um, it's a focusing time. We're optimistic about staying very focused here and going and solving issues that need to be solved. Just I don't want to, like, this can be taken the wrong way, and I don't want that to be the case. But in March, in our dealer network, we set up this idea that our top dealers around the world need to be recognized for being top dealers around the world. We have 1,500 dealers in the Walker program, and some areas are more vibrant than others. Some dealers operate at a higher level than others, and they're all the same. But we really identified the top 50 dealers as dealers that we wanted to recognize as leaders in our program, as people and organizations that we need for them to be recognized and to be an example and an identified example in our program. And so we developed what we call the top 50 dealer list. And that's available to our dealers anytime, real time, based on new machine registrations. So I made a commitment to visit every one of these 50 dealers around the world. This is what, in context, I know it's maybe not the most prudent thing right now to be traveling and to be with people. It breaks my heart. But we just made a commitment, and with agreement from these dealers, we have been in 30 different dealerships in the last 6 months. I myself, with our team, have traveled to these different dealers to look them in the eye, to tell them thank you, to tell them that we need them. We need them to be excellent and continue to be excellent in our program. So as we pursue customers, that service, the customer can be served well, both in the buying process, but more importantly in the service and support of the Walker mower. And so it can come across as reckless that I'm on the road doing this work, but it's so important that we're with each other, that we're connecting. And it's been kind of a highlight for me. And it's something that as I've been with these organizations and people, sometimes we've met in parking lots, which is fine, to maintain that, whatever it is, the regulation or someone's personal, boundaries, that's fine. But we've been able to present them plaques and to say thank you first and foremost. And secondly, that we want to keep working together to serve better than we've ever served. And so it's been good. And that kind of falls into the pursuit of customer bucket. As an OEM, we really need our dealers to operate at a very high level. And so that's really what that focus is. And we can't wait to innovate. We just can't. It's so important to innovate, and it's so important to pursue customer at every level for us. And so it's been definitely a focus.
Thanks for that. So we're about 5 minutes until the ending here. So if anybody does have any final questions, I'll ask you to jump in now. And if not, you can kind of wrap things up, Ryan, and we can go from there.
Yeah. Well, as we look back on what Walker Manufacturing Company has been and look back on 2020, and first and foremost, we give thanks for life and breath and the opportunity to get up in the morning. Think about this idea that you slept last night, you woke up today and able to get up, breathe, have life. And that in itself is just a wonderful, refining viewpoint, perspective to start with. And we do start there. And so we've been given this opportunity as a third generation operator in this business. I didn't start this. I didn't have much to do with where the business is at today, but it's very much I have a responsibility to lead this business with very disciplined focus, and and in 30 years, hand this business off to the fourth generation better than when it was handed to us. I think that's a mandate that that we must follow. And so the multiplication of opportunities, the multiplication of talents. If you're familiar with the biblical parable of the talents, Walker Manufacturing Company our focus is to multiply opportunities, to multiply the talents that have been given, not earned, but given. And I'm in that boat. I haven't earned this, but I'm now responsible. And my brother and I, and the team that we lead with here, we're going to do everything we can to serve you well, to multiply what Walker Manufacturing Company is, to multiply the talents that we've been given. And so the experience that you have with this place is excellent, and it's something that we can be proud of, and something that we would expect if we were in your shoes. And so as we pursue that at every level, the product, the experience, the service, the support of what Walker Manufacturing Company is, what the Walker Mower is, we're willing to change, and we are doing those. We are making changes, but yet we're going to stay the same. And this place, I don't know if you can see behind me. Nope, you can just see a map, but right next to the map is a list of our principles that hangs on my wall that Dean and Bob developed based on really what my grandparents thought as most important. And so we make a covenant with Dean and Bob that we're going to operate this business according to those same principles to achieve a mission that the Walker Manufacturing Company is seeking hard after. So, what is to come, we're super excited for what is to come, and we're very thankful for what has been. And you all are involved in that story and that journey with us. And so I want to thank you all for your involvement, for being here with us today. What a privilege to talk about, to share with you where we are today and what's next. And we're going to keep working really hard for you all to make sure that the investment we made with Walker is something that is fruitful for you, and it's something that you can be proud of as well.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. I think all of us, we're all in different tiers of distribution or dealers or end users, but I think all of us realize that Walker really is a different company and a special company. And so thanks for kind of involving us in maybe some of the behind the scenes things of where you guys have been and where things are going. And it's exciting to think of where things are going to go in the future. But yeah, thanks a lot for your time today. That was great.
Yeah, my pleasure, Owen. Thanks for everyone for being here, and Owen for hosting, and for ProPower Canada. You guys, I was just going to mention, we shipped our first machine to ProPower Canada in 1993, 27 years ago. And that's a wonderful legacy that we're building on with Ryan and his wife, Sam, and Owen and Scott and the team there at ProPower Canada. Thanks for the work you're doing. Thanks for this morning, for putting this together. I also want to mention that we sent our first machine to Canada in 1988. So we look forward to the next 32 years as we work together to fulfill that need for a great walker, a great mower in that Canadian market. Happy 2021, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thanks for spending time with me this morning.
Thanks again, Ryan. Yeah, and thanks everyone too for being here the last 3 days. I see a lot of the same names and faces that we saw the last couple of days. So thank you for making our Congress Connect 2021 a success. Again, we're all kind of put out not being together. We always really enjoy this trade show, and anytime we can kind of see people, whether it's on an annual basis or on throughout the year. But again, thank you for joining us for this, and hopefully we can do something like this again soon. And we'd love to be able to be in person with each other. So I will end the meeting now, but again, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks, Owen.
Thanks again, Ryan.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.